Hey everybody, how you going? I am just going to make sure that this is on the page, in the group I should say, while I'm waiting for you to join in. And I'll be there in just a moment, just 2 seconds while I check. I like checking the desktop, so I'm actually live on my phone, but I'm checking on the desktop to make sure. And there I am. Okay. Welcome everybody to the 2 o'clock session live in Dynamic Business Women's Mastermind group. Thank you, Michelle, for having me. It's great to be here. I'll wait and see just really for a couple of seconds longer and see if anybody's going to join me. And then I'm going to get stuck into talking about how to set up for Facebook Live. Where could you use it? Why would you use it that way? Give you some tips that I think are lacking in a lot of how-to guides that I've seen online, and also giving you some tips for some content that you could use for your Facebook Lives as well. I'll get started. It's only 1 minute past 2, but anyway. I'm actually standing up today, which is weird. Normally I'd be sitting at my desk, but I had to move around today because I am standing up at my standing desk because I've hurt my back. So it's weird. I normally would be sitting down to do a Facebook Live. Today I'm standing up. I have my light here facing me. I'm on my phone and I have my desktop just there. And the reason I have the backdrop, Michelle, is that it hides a myriad of crap that you don't need to see. Behind me there is my bookcase, which isn't that messy, to be perfectly honest. I could probably have gone live without my backdrop here, but generally it's facing the other way and I'm sitting at my desk just there, and it covers my kitchen and all the crap that is normally on the bench top and etc. So today's workshop is all about using Facebook Live, how that might work in your business, how you can make it work for you, and being sort of more strategic about how to make it work so that you're not just doing things off the cuff or copying other people, thinking that you have to go live from your car, which I don't know why that trend has caught on, but let's put our best business foot forward and work out how we can best represent our brand as well in Facebook Live, how we can reach people we want to reach, where are they, how do we share with them, and how do we do it in a way that doesn't make us lose our mind and spend too much time I guess creating content and giving stuff away without being a bit more strategic about how to repurpose content you already have. So I'll get to that last. The first thing I'm going to talk to you about are the various places on Facebook that you can go live. And of course I'm doing one of them now. I'm live in a group. When you go live in a group, it's normally a group you own or the group owner has invited you to go live in that group. Lots of groups don't let people go live direct in the group, so you just got to check the rules. But the benefits of going live in a group are, of course, that it just is live to those people. It's not public, which means there's a little more control, I guess, about who's going to be watching or who might watch it back later. If you choose to go live in a group, it's normally because it's a very specific piece of content and it's specific to the group you're in. So it's not necessarily a restricted thing. It's actually a really useful way to practice Facebook Live if you're in a group of people that you really trust and you want to practice live just to a smaller group of people, or thinking about what strategically could you share in a particular group that is relevant to that group's hashtags or overall sort of purpose for being. So going live in a group is really, really cool, and you just need to check on the group rules and be invited, usually by the group owner. The other place you can go live, of course, is your Facebook business page. And the benefits of going live on your business page is that it's a public post, which means every time I press go live on my business page, I share it straight away to my personal profile and I share it to my video challenge group. And the reason that being public is good is that it means not only can I share that post, everyone else can share that live post everywhere. And so potentially you have a much huger audience if you go live publicly on your business page. It's also a way to showcase what you do and what you know. You might use it for going live from an event to your business page to share where you are and what you're doing. I'll be doing that next Wednesday. As an example, I'll pick a time during the workshop that I think it's content that is valuable to share on my business page, and it will likely be a point where I am asking people for their sort of aha moments. I'll probably share that live. You can download your Facebook Lives as an HD video and share them outside of Facebook as well, like Michelle said. So you might do that. You know, I downloaded a series of 3 videos that I'd done about managing confidence in the message, confidence in the tech, confidence in yourself. So I went live 3 days in a row, and I downloaded those and actually added captions to them, and they're on YouTube by themselves. But I don't do it with every Facebook Live. You can. There's no reason that you couldn't do that, because why not? Why not make the most of the content that you are creating? The other place to go live is on your personal profile. I don't know if you have seen this trend that squillions of people that aren't really my friends are suddenly my friends on Facebook. And obviously I have control over that, and I've chosen to let that happen, where I don't tend to share anything specifically kid related as such. That, I don't know, I'm not worried about my personal profile on Facebook particularly. So I've got loads of business friends on there that I don't know on a social level. So I often share stuff on my profile because those bodies might not necessarily have liked my business page yet. So they might not see the content if it's just shared on my business page. So it's something to think about. The other thing with going live on your profile is that you can custom build the audience. So you might be able to choose to go public on your profile. You can choose just to go live to yourself and practice. I sort of recommend you don't do that. I think it's better if you practice in a group where people are actually going to interact with you. And you can also custom the audience. So you can choose specific people or groups from your friends on Facebook to go live to. So that's not a bad way to do it. If you are out and about and you're trying to find some specific friends, you can use it that sort of way, in a non-business sort of way as well. The other place you can go live is in events. So if you're an event organizer, I think it's a really great way to promote that event more and more before, leading up to the tickets being sold out or whatever, the week before or the night before, that you can go live in an event. So the reason that it's worthwhile thinking about where you can go live on Facebook is because some of those things have very specific purposes. So you don't have to just go live on your Facebook page all the time. There are other ways that you can use Facebook Live, I think, that are valuable. And the other reason to go live on your Facebook page is that you can obviously share that post to other groups. Not while you're live, but later you could share that post by copying the link of the post and posting it to other groups. I've done that a little bit lately too. So they're pretty versatile. You can use Facebook Live pretty much however you like. And I want to share some tips about how to choose how it's going to work for you. What do you want Facebook Live to be for you? And I'll share a couple of examples. One of them is me, where I can't go live every day. I actually tried that and it made me go a little bit mental. I have 3 kids in the house. It was always too busy. There was always somebody here. One of them had come home early from school and make heaps of noise, or they'd put the oven on or whatever. And I just found that going live every day was too much pressure for me. So I've actually narrowed it down to, I usually go live once or twice in my group, and I go live on my business page on a Wednesday. It's called Wednesday Workshop, and I set up a specific sort of calendar for myself about what I'm going to share every Wednesday. That really works for me. I share it then around. I share that post around. I've boosted a couple. But I think if you think about how can Facebook Live work for you, what is it that you want it to achieve for you? So as an example, I'm clearly trying to get more eyeballs on my business page. I want more people to understand what it is I do. And if I was going to promote an event, which I am at the moment, then I also talk about that, and I put the link in the description of my Facebook Live. You might be very specifically launching a course. So all your Facebook Live would be around that particular launch. You might pick out bits of the content and share it. You might interview someone who did the course last time on Facebook Live. You might use Facebook Live as a way to drive traffic to your course launch landing page, try and say that fast, so that you could make the most of the description in your Facebook Live, add the link in the Facebook Live, explain what you're doing and that you want people to go and have a look at the landing page or whatever. So you can use it for very specific reasons. You can use it like I do as a teaching method. You could also use it as a way to introduce yourself in as many groups as will have you. Using Facebook Live as a way to introduce yourself and your personality and your body language and your voice is a really great tool to let people get to know you better rather than just writing your introduction, okay? So you can use Facebook Live for squillions of different things, and it's important for you to step back and think, where does it fit in my business marketing? What am I trying to achieve using Facebook Live? And then be really specific about the content you want to create, because otherwise I think what happens is people get into a habit or something of being a little bit off the cuff all the time, and so it's always on the fly, it's always in the car, it's always when I'm picking my kids up from school, and I find those sort of frantic Facebook Lives a bit off-putting, because I actually would prefer that you'd thought about it and you're sharing something of value with me and you've clearly scheduled that time to talk to me rather than fitting me into your busy schedule. And quite frankly, no one looks good in the car. If you want to look good, and we all want to look good, I won't believe you if you say you don't care about how you look. We all want to look good. And the car, something about the light and the upholstery, I don't know if anybody looks good in the car. But having said that, I understand there's a place for it, but it may not be the best one to use if you're introducing your business to everybody and it's the first time I've ever seen you. I think it's better that you have some kind of setup, right? So this is my tips for how to look good on Facebook Live. So I always wear my specs because you can see me in the news feed. You can see my backdrop in the news feed too. People are used to seeing that, which is good. But also I tend to wear lippy simply because I think you can see me better. Always have light on your face. Always make sure that people can see you, because we can't always hear you. So the light's really important. Try and find the camera lens on your phone so that you are looking at the camera lens at me rather than at yourself on the screen. So a lot of people do this. So I always play with my hair when I'm looking at the screen instead of looking at you. I'll wear glasses too. Yeah, see? Yeah, see? So if you look at the screen, what you find is that you notice stuff you didn't notice before, like the fact that the bags under my eyes are really big, or that, oh my God, my hair looks really crazy, and what's going on with, and whereas if I'm looking at the camera lens, I actually can't see myself as much. So it's good for your confidence, but it's also more engaging, isn't it? Looking here at you and talking to you rather than looking at myself on the screen, okay? And the next thing I think is to think about having the camera up high enough that it feels like it's an eye level kind of conversation rather than holding the camera down low in your lap and letting me look up your nose. It happens, you know, if people use their desktop to go live, it's often quite low because they've got their laptop on their lap, and so the webcam is low. So I encourage you to bring the camera up a little higher so that we feel like we're having an eye-to-eye conversation. I think it's way more engaging. So they were, get some lovely light on your face, look at the camera lens wherever you can, try and have the camera up high enough so it feels like we're face to face or eye to eye rather than, you know, looking down at you or looking up too high at you. And where to go live from. So I know I said, oh, hello. I just did one from the desktop today. Yeah, it's something about because our laptops are lower and so we look down and then everyone can see up your nose and you get a double chin even if you don't have one. You don't even have a double chin, Linda. So, you know, even if your camera's down low, it looks like you have, which is really irritating. But think about where the benefits of setting up in a permanent kind of way or the same way every time you go live. I can't stress enough how comforting that can be. So when you know where you're going to sit, you know where you're putting your phone, you know that you're doing this thing and that thing. I obviously use the backdrop because I'm hiding all sorts of crap, as I said. But it doesn't really matter as long as it's not distracting whatever's behind you. But try and set up somewhere regularly so it's the same place. I think it's a really valuable thing to do for you because it sets up a bit of branding as well. It sets you up for being comfortable about knowing where you're going to sit and what you're going to do or you're going to stand, but you know that you're going to do it. You're not suddenly deciding when you walk the dog to go live on your Facebook business page where nobody has seen you live before and you're trying to talk and walk the dog and you've got a coffee, and that is not going to make it easy for you to share your business value on Facebook Live. Hope that makes sense. Whereas if we were in a group together and you manage that group and I knew you really well and you always go live when you're walking the dog to say, okay, everybody, start the day. What's everybody up to today? That's totally different, isn't it? I'm talking about the times where you're trying to share who you are, what you do in your business, and how to pick a sort of a regular spot to sit or stand when you go live on Facebook. Okay. There's sort of the main tips for success that I say to people about Facebook Live. The other thing I think that I have found very valuable is to have an Evernote notebook, and it's called Facebook Live, and in there I put all my ideas and then I flesh them out and I might write a little blurb, a couple of paragraphs, and after I've been live I then go to Evernote and I cut and paste that description into my Facebook Live. And there's a few benefits for doing that. First one is that it helps me plan the live, so I know what I'm going to say. It helps me clarify my thoughts and keep it really specific. And you know what else it does? It helps me write my points on a sticky note, which of course is backwards because we're on Facebook Live. I stick that on the phone screen, and I can tell you now that says FB Live Your Way. Point 1, where can you go live and why? 2, some tips for success. 3, deciding on your content. So I've written that in Evernote. I cut and paste that into the description after I go live. And so it helps me clarify what I want to say, but it also means that if people come back later, so here's some stats about Facebook Live. People watch 3 times longer when they catch you live. So that's why it's good to let people know when you're going to go live. If people catch you live, they'll hang around for a lot longer. They'll comment. Facebook Lives get about 10 times the comments of normal posts. And what that does is it means Facebook starts sending it to more news feeds. So it gets you'll get a way bigger reach with a Facebook Live based on the engagement you get during the live and afterwards when people watch it back later. Even though the people later don't watch it for as long normally, typically it's about a third of the time, whereas someone who catches you live will stick around for either the whole thing or they'll certainly stick around for as long as they can or listen to you while they're doing something else or whatever. Because Facebook Live gets so much reach, what happens is people who may not already know me are going to see that post. They may have liked my business page, let's say, ages ago, but they haven't really interacted with me. Suddenly they see in their post, Jenny DeLacy was live, Video Works with Jenny, and there's a tiny little description that says something that they're not quite sure what it means. Are they going to watch it? Or if it says, today's live is all about blah-de-blah-de-blah, and I've listed my main points in the description, are they more likely to stick around and look at that post for longer? Yeah. And they'll comment and they might watch a bit of the live, but they'll read the description, and that brings more engagement as well. Okay, so it's a really good method, I think, for amplifying your Facebook Live content if you can. So as an example, last week I shared an event page, a landing page from my website. 38 people, I shit you not, 38 people saw that post. And I was like, oh, you spend all this time putting landing pages together, and yes, you kind of have to share them on their own, but the next time I shared that landing page, I did it through a Facebook Live where I actually shared a bit of content about something, nerve-busting tips maybe, can't remember, and I put the link to the landing page in that Facebook Live description. 1,100 people had that post delivered to their news feeds. All right, so what I want you to understand is that there's a huge benefit to you to use Facebook Live to amplify the content that you have already created, because it's almost a waste of time to just put text and photos or links and words on your Facebook business page. Even though we still do it because we want to populate our page, so if people land there, they'll see stuff. It's important that you know that it's almost a waste of time unless you've amplified it somehow, shared it in lots of groups. I shared a Facebook Live in business this morning. The one that I did yesterday has been delivered to I think just over 1,000 people since 4 o'clock yesterday. Now it's in BBB as well. It'll probably go a little bit further. Whoops. So I hope I'm sort of convincing you that it's a really good idea for your business. So how do you decide what you're going to say? As I said, my tip around that is to start collecting your thoughts somewhere. I collect my notes in Evernote when I decide what sort of Facebook Live I want to do. But I also find inspiration from material I've already created. So blog posts I've already done turn into Facebook Live materials. I did video prompts for a while on my business page as well, and I've encouraged my group to do the same. I know Linda's current challenge, Linda's sending out a prompt every day for Facebook Live. So things like how not to make the biggest mistake my clients make and how you can avoid it and things like that. So think about how you can, I guess, use current content as inspiration for your Facebook Live content. The other thing as a prompt for Facebook Live is to think about, firstly, what's the point? What are you trying to achieve? Well, I want people to see me out and about. I want them to see me running workshops. I want them to see me as an authority in something. Therefore, all my content is focused in that direction. So let's say you are starting out. Your Facebook Lives are going to be more introductory, letting me know who you are, sharing some, some of your core beliefs or your values or things like that, versus Q&A, right? I wouldn't trust necessarily that you're the right person to answer a question for me because I don't know who you are yet. So I find a lot of people go into a group, nobody knows who they are, but they suddenly start saying, I'm an expert in this thing, I want you to all listen to me do this thing. And I think, no, I don't even know who that person is, so why would I value their opinion, even though it's probably perfectly correct? So think about where you're at in your business, what your goals are. So are you introducing yourself? You want to raise your profile? Do you want to be seen as an authority? Do you want to promote an event or have people land on a page to buy a product or a service? And that will help you decide on your Facebook Live content. All right. So that's really it for now. That's 25 minutes nearly. I was going to try and do that in 15, but Michelle, I hope you don't mind. It went over a little bit. But they're the sort of core reasons why to use Facebook Live, how to use it, and where you might use it on Facebook to really make the most of this. It is free promo for our business. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's free promo. You're welcome. You're welcome, Linda. So really, this is my thing. This is what I do all the time, and I'm just rejigging my Facebook Live resources at the moment. I've got a whole page of freebie resources for Facebook Live that you're welcome. I'll put a website page link in the comments in a minute. You're welcome to go and have a look at that, but there'll be more and more. And as Linda has already been talking to me about turning this into, an online course that makes it easy for you to digest when you're ready for certain modules. That's our little workshop for today. Thanks again for having me, Michelle. And if anybody's got any questions at all, post them in this post, and I'll come back in and answer any questions later when people watch this back later. But actually, that's another tip, just really, really quickly. When you do a Facebook Live, always respond to absolutely every comment that anyone makes at all, no matter what comment is. Go back in and answer every single one of them on your business page, because it gets more reach again, doesn't it? Because it looks like more engagement. So don't forget, it does take a little bit of time, but it's totally worth it for the Facebook reach compared to what we normally get, which is nothing, basically. So have a great rest of the day, and I will post the page. There's also a free training tutorial, video marketing training tutorial on my website, so you can always subscribe to that, and that's got a workbook and it's a 15-minute video about how to set yourself up. I've covered a lot of the stuff actually in this anyway, but you're welcome to have that. It's a free resource as well. Have a fantastic rest of Thursday. My last footy training for the whole year. Don't ask me why, but I just can't. I'm sick of driving them around to footy training. But anyway, I shouldn't really win, should I? They're in the grand final, so that's good. Bye, everyone. See ya. Bye.